Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the 808 podcast where I interview business owners, CEOs, marketing directors, and whoever else I feel like. It is 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds because 808 looks like Bob, and here we go. Question number 1 in a few sentences. Tell me who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, my name's Joel Otterstrom. I'm the president of WpConcierges. We're a group of WooCommerce experts. We help individuals scale and grow their e-commerce stores online using WooCommerce.
Perfect. Right to the point, Joel. Question number 2. What advice do you want to share? Go.
Well, I think a lot of people get caught up in making a pretty website and never thinking about how to sell the product and what is the product story. So a lot of people get lost in different ideas like, hey, is this pop-up going to work for 15% off when there's no connection to the product? And so people don't buy because of discounts. People buy because it's solving a problem for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's what every business owner has to figure out is what is the problem I'm solving with my product, and how can I explain that either with video, with storytelling, with written text. And so what I like to do is really just set up an advertorial and a funnel behind that, and then test a product that way. And you could do that without even a full store, but with catalogs that are large, that's a different story. But anyhow,
well, why don't you give me an example of a client that you've worked with that you helped them build that story and that increased sales?
Let me think off the hand. So, a current one that we're doing right now is a sleep product, and it's a natural herb sleep product. And, we found out with a little research, 70 million people in the United States are suffering from different degrees of sleep problems. And so we're creating 2 different pieces that bring people in and help them understand the product. Right. One is a sleep quiz that they can take. And the other is an advertorial. And an advertorial, in my sense, is a full written article with graphics, combination of video. It's just all the different media that you can bring in. And then you can use more methods to get traffic to those advertorials. And so that one's under the works right now. Right. And then my oldest client is a flower company called Flower Patch. Mm-hmm. And as things have changed over the years, they've had a lot of different locations, and as people's buying behaviors have changed, they've closed down flower shops and taken everything online.
Right.
And so what we've had to do is say, hey, we do deliver to this hospital, we do deliver for this funeral home. And so we had to do that for every funeral home, every hospital that they could deliver through. And that's not really telling the story, but it's just providing content.
Right.
That says, here's how we're solving this problem for you.
Makes sense.
And so year after year, we've been able to increase their online sales as their store locations have gone away. Mm-hmm. And they're okay with that because the revenue is still growing, and their costs are going down because of not having to have a physical location.
Right, brick and mortars are expensive.
Yeah, yep.
There, love it there. Let's get to question number 3. It is time for shout outs. Go.
Well, there's a couple people. Travis Taylor from Glacier Payments. He's built a payment company that provides a gateway and he did that from ground up, just in a place of Glacier, Montana. And so I have kind of a unique relationship with him. And Chris Larson, he's been a mentor for me over the years. And he sells product within 36 different countries around the world. Well, 36 different languages.
Nice.
And those have currencies and whatnot. And just these are different guys that you don't really hear of in our world.
Totally get there. Now it's time for question number 4, the final fun question. Joel, tell me about your first sale.
I think my first sale was pretty fun. It was my first large sale. I had a bid to build a payment system for Mesa School District in Arizona, and I went after the bid. My business partner at the time, we hopped in a car. We were from living in Provo, Utah at the time. Hopped in a car, drove down there that night, and we didn't have any money, so we just slept in our car, and we showed up in the meeting. What's that?
You said this is in Georgia?
No, we went from Provo, Utah to Mesa, Arizona.
Okay, that's not, I was thinking like Georgia. I was thinking like, wow, across the country. So
no,
that's not that bad.
It was not that bad. We just drove through the night, showed up in this meeting with stinky clothes, and you know, we gathered all the information, and we did a really great job on the bid, and we won. And that was like 2004, and we got about 4 different school districts in Arizona from that.
Nice.
And on the way back, so there was a gas shortage in Arizona, and we sold water and drinks that we got from Walmart, and sold it to people that were trying to get gas while they were waiting in the hot sun, because there's huge lines. And
right.
We sold like $100, and we filled up our gas tank and went back to Salt Lake. Well,
that's the way to do it. I love that story there. So, hey, you got 50 seconds left, Joel. Do you want to do some promo time?
Yeah. So really, there's 5 parts to a shop, to an e-commerce. Store is really the design, the technical setup, analytics, and the security, especially within e-commerce. You want to make sure you're looking at that, your hosting, and then promotion after that. So those are kind of the complete setup. And so what I really enjoy doing is helping people with their analytics and understanding what their traffic is looking at and what clues their traffic is leaving on their site, so you can better tell your e-commerce story.
Perfect. Love it there. You pulled it off right in the nose. 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Joel, why is it 8 minutes and 8 seconds?
Because it looks like Bob.
It does. It does. Your website, say it real quick.
WpConcierges.
It's in the description. It's magic. Joel, thank you so much for being on. Tip of the hat to you.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. And for everyone else watching or listening, I am legally required to tell you to like, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, whatever the heck the social media network tells you all to do. You all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.